Hello, this is June 16th, 2016, and I feel the need to record this because in the last couple of years, I've been able to enlighten myself on the passing of my dad back in 1969. Um, I recently was told the circumstances of the accident. Um, as a child, At that time, I was living near Lake Fenton, and my dad was working in a department store in Flint. And on a Friday, um, some guys from work wanted to get together afterwards and maybe have a couple of drinks and have a little get together. And so he asked my mom if he could have the car because my mom normally on Fridays went to this group of ladies that got together and they sewed together. They all had their projects, and it was kind of like a sewing circle. My mom was okay with it, and so he went. And on the way home, tire blew out, and he was killed. This day of his death was Valentine's Day. At 7 years old, it was devastating. We had moved a few times, and so I hadn't made a whole lot of friends. We had lived in Garden City, moved to Ohio, then back to Garden City, and then to Fenton, the Fenton area. We lived in two homes in the Fenton area before. Last one, when my dad passed, um, the accident, I found out after nearly 50 years, was due to him not replacing a tire that was balding. And I recently, in the last week or two, found out that the car we had did not have seat belts. That's 50 years ago, when the trauma of losing my dad on Valentine's Day was something as kind of obscure as did we have seatbelts never crossed my mind. In further review, I did a little bit of internet searching because it bugged me when my mom said he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And so I come to find out that the car that we had, seatbelts were optional. They did not become mandatory until January 1st, 1968. And he may have had them in the back seat, but I believe we didn't have any in the front. And that more than likely was a cause of his passing, not having the seatbelts. They could have been installed, but it wasn't something that was done. And so that was the whole way it happened hasn't been cleared up in my mind. I have a whole lot of peace in the last couple of years, the last 3-4 years. I have been dealing with a sort of depression. I didn't know what was going on. Ended up getting myself put on Zoloft, and I rectified the depression, and I think it might have been because the last couple of years I've been trying to uncover these like dangling chads, these unresolved stories in my life, and they were sad. That's why I didn't want to face them. And when you don't face them and they're in your subconscious, your body will do all sorts of crazy things. And I was doing a loop-de-loop with my emotions. I was going from being fine to having some suicidal thoughts. And because of my long-term sobriety, I knew that I can manage it if I just got to a doctor and figured out what was going on. And a friend of mine on Facebook, Kurt David, uh, uh, invited me to a speaking engagement with a former Lions quarterback who dealt with similar issues. Kurt didn't bring it up to me that he thought that I was posting things that were really crazy, but he was looking out for me. I believe that. And so I went, I talked to Eric, and I understood. I mean, I understood what was going on. I think I need to hear it from somebody who had been going through the same thing or had experienced the same thing. Eric did, and shortly thereafter, I went into my doctor and got a prescription for Zoloft. It takes about 2 months if it's going to work to kick in. It did, and I've been trying to uncover all the unpleasantries in my life and resolve them, put them to bed. This is sad, this is bad, I need to face it. And I have pretty much everything that bothered me the most, I have confronted it in one shape or another. And recently, I have been foregoing the Zoloft because I have been feeling better. I think that a lot of that stuff that was weighing me down is now out of my head. So I have an outstanding prescription for the next year. If I need it, I'll go in and get it. But I'm going to try and get back to who I am and what I am drug free. And it doesn't mean taking Zoloft is a bad thing. I think that if it's possible that I can get it, that I've resolved things and these things are out of my head, and whatever was causing these down moods is gone, then I need to give it a chance to get back to who I am. I would never suggest that to anyone else. This is something I'm very in tune with who I am. And the first sign that I feel like I'm fooling myself, I'm back on those meds because they make me feel better. But so far, so good, weaning myself off. I think that anytime we have negative things that we don't confront and we hold inside, they eat away at us. They eat away at our humanity. They take away from life our joy. And some of these things that I've unloaded, and they weren't necessarily things that I did, but they were things that were in my head. And in order to give myself some peace, I resolve them, or they resolve for me. And I can live with that. I can live with whatever the verdict is, but the unknown. To not know what's going on, to not know what happened. That is, to me, is the deepest cut of all. And so, things I'd buried, things I buried since I was a child. When my mom opened up, I started asking questions that the adult me wanted answers to. And because of the place I was in, my mom felt more comfortable sharing that with me. And some of the stuff she shared, she didn't realize were extremely helpful and gave me peace. And having peace is a wonderful thing. That not everybody is able to understand what they need to do in order to get it. And it's been a long journey for me. If somebody doesn't want to talk, somebody doesn't want to share, I thought I was going to go to my grave not knowing how my dad passed. The whole story. And now I know enough that part of it was poor judgment on his part. A lot of it was not replacing a tire, not getting seatbelts in the car, but it was different thinking back then. So I can't be angry about it. It's done and over with. I can't change it. Would I prefer him here? Yes. Whether he had a drinking problem or not, he was a loving father. He was very attentive to my schooling. He was a smart man. He would have he graduated at 16. They wouldn't let him graduate for another year because of the way the rules of schools were back in the 50s. There's a day that goes by, I don't miss him. But a large part of his passing is due to choices he made. He lived and died with them. And we all have times in our life, especially those of us who are recovering and trying to get our lives straight and leave the world better, that we struggle to see the good things in front of us. I know I did for a long time. I was so angry about things that, honestly, looking back, it was dumb. I don't get angry anymore. I get disappointed, but I don't quit. And if I need a tire replaced or a seatbelt get fixed, I do it. I don't play with it. And those are lessons I have, and I've lived a life double my father, so I've done something right. And I've been sober for close to 30 years, and I feel like I've done things to help other people who are struggling with life. My experience can be their teacher. I want to do more. Life is so temporary, and none of us are here forever. We need to make the world better for the next generation. There's a lot of things in this world that scare me, and I'm grateful that I won't be here for some of it. You gotta think some of it is going to be real scary for some of the kids that are coming around now. But the people I know now, those are people I care about. I want to see them get as much out of life as they can. It's too short. You're 25 one day, you wake up, you're 50 the next. Overworking yourself to not enjoy time with the people you love. You're wasting life. Do what's important, but share it with people who are important. That's all for today. Thank you.